Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear DDO. Happy birthday to you. Yeah! Happy birthday, DDO.
Hey, the song is over.
Yeah, well, welcome to DDOcast, episode 272, recorded live Sunday, March 3rd, 2013 at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am your host, Siegfried Trent, a lovely producer and wife, and Trent is here. And we from DDOgamer.com, we have Jeff Hanna. And from Turbine, or at least nearby Turbine, we have Jerry Snook.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. Welcome to the show, my friend.
I'm honored to be here.
Cool. Well, let's see. As you may know, live shows are recorded on Sunday around 4 p.m. Pacific time. You can listen live and hang out in the chat room or through G+ Hangouts or from a website at DDOcast.com/live. You can watch the recorded shows on YouTube or listen to them on iTunes. We post showtimes, updates, game news on Facebook, Twitter, and G+ and DDOcast on our website. So if you want to be a part of the show or just say hi, you can call us at 707-DDOcast or email us at ddocast@gmail.com. As always, we're looking for guest segments, news, opinions, and topics of interest. So what have we got on the podcast this week? Well, as you can tell by our awful singing, we're celebrating DDO's birthday today, and they're celebrating in-game as well. So we got birthday news, we got birthday suits, and we got other sundry tidbits of knowledge. So we're going to start out today, and I'm going to do my it's producer Glenn impression. I'm going to read Glenn's happy birthday DDO message. So I don't actually.
By the way,
do.
The baby was crying in the background right when you were introducing me, so I had to mute myself. It's been a while since I was able to get back on the show, and I'm very pleased to be here. So.
Oh yeah, we're very glad to have you.
Thanks.
Yay, it's Jerry. Welcome back, Jerry.
See, that's the thing. When you have a little baby, it's been conflicting with my ability to get on the show because this is sort of his big playtime right after dinner, et cetera, et cetera. So the schedule just hasn't really quite worked out. But I'm glad to be able to make it this week. So.
Well, we are sorry to deprive your child of his father, but
pretty much.
We're happy to have him on the show too. It's all good.
Awesome.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to launch into this because, there's a lot of bits of news and, we could kind of paraphrase things, but might as well use the man's word himself. So here's what was posted in case you haven't read it. Producer Glenn says, Happy 7th anniversary, DDO Nation. We've been together for a long time now. In some U.S. states, we'd be common law married. With that, my name is Eric Boyer, also known as Producer Glenn, and I am the senior producer on DDO. I myself am starting on my 7th anniversary here at Turbine working at DDO. I've worked with an amazing team over the years as we took DDO through its many evolutionary changes, recently expanded into the Forgotten Realms. Supporting both the Eberron Forgotten Realms campaigns, we now have a vast array of options and stories and environments, and we are excited to continue delivering classic D&D adventures to you for another year. I'll break in at this point and say, sometimes on these kind of spiels, there's a lot of hyperbole, but that's very true. There is a vast array of stuff in DDO these days.
Yeah, they've been doing well. I mean, for a game that's been going on this long, they're producing really solid content on a regular basis, and that means that if they're producing content on a regular basis, there is a fan base willing to give money for devs to use and abuse into the system again.
Are you inviting the devs to abuse us?
Yes, basically. Well, they do. They must laugh every time we fall into a trap. I know they're watching me when I play, and I fail a reflex save. Oh my god.
Yeah, whoever came up with the Iron Fire Bomber, that is an abusive developer right there.
All good in the spirit of the evil DM. Okay, well, we shall continue. This is going to be another amazing year for DDO, and I am excited to share with you some big news on our plans. Just last week, we launched Update 17, where we got the chance to go back to Giant Hold and give it a refresh. We managed to put some giants into Giant Hold, not to mention more dragons and that infamous Dracolich we've been talking about since year one. It's a challenging but also exciting when we get the chance to update our beloved DDO features to make them even better, and you'll see that happening on a few different fronts this year. On that topic, I know you will all want to hear about it. And yes, it's true. We've been overhauling our bug reporting tool with updated functionality to give us to capture more of your problem details and feedback, to process them more efficiently. With that news, I know now you are thinking, that sounds really good, but what sort of thinking and rumors of an updated character enhancement system? And I have great news to share for you on that. Work on the new enhancement system is well underway, and it is will be heading to its first public beta this spring. In its current iteration, each class has at least 2 prestige paths. The UI, similar to the Epic Destiny tree, will be a long-awaited simplification to planning your character build, but more importantly, the goal is to make better choices more accessible through the new advanced players into heroic levels. We are planning an extended beta for this one. We'll be doing multiple trips to Lamania and lots of player events to give us all an opportunity to try it out on various characters and gather lots and lots of feedback. So
yeah, so download Lamania if you don't have it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially, I like it when, as much as I'm eager to get my hands on anything new and exciting, it's nice to let this one ruminate around a little bit and give people a lot of chances to hammer on it and try it out.
Yeah. It's a big system, that's for sure. It's one of those things where you think about, let's just, quote, overhaul the enhancement system, and then you realize all the things it affects and just how many classes you've got, and they've been working a lot of hours on this thing. So,
yeah, and everything in DDO seems so interrelated sometimes. I just had the thought that, have any of the developers nicknamed the code the Demon Web?
No, but that's a good idea. I'll have to tell them that.
It's probably not coincidence that he led off with news about an updated bug reporting system.
Yeah, no, that's good too, though. I mean, for a while it was a little difficult to file the bugs. I figured out the technique for doing so, but that's good to have.
I guess I'm lucky. Before I started working for Turbine, and now that I do work for Turbine, I've never had a problem getting the bug reporting system or in-game pages to load. But I know lots of people, or some people do. So
yeah, for some reason there was one point it just stopped working for me, and I had to kind of figure out how to refresh the page properly, and then it would pop back up, and so I could file bugs. But I don't file a lot of bugs. Sadly, I'm not as good as Anne is about that. Anne is brilliant at filing bugs in the game, but I'm always like, if I'm stuck, then I usually file a bug because I've got nothing else I can do. So I'm a little lazy that way. But anyhow.
So my hope is that with this new enhancement, we'll be seeing new prestige enhancements. So, Defender, Dwarven Defender, if you please. I have a dwarf waiting.
Well, I guess we'll see when they pop it out. I know the original plan was to have 2 class prestiges and a race prestige kind of panel available to each character, something like that.
Yeah, there were some kind of preview looks already on the forums about it. I mean, it's still being iterated on and worked on, so that's certainly not the final way it's going to necessarily work or play or whatever, but you can already find out a fair amount about how some of the basic ideas for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think essentially it's going to be a little bit like the Epic Destiny line as far as the general look and feel of the thing.
Right.
So, yeah. Cool. And that's been working real well. I haven't seen anyone have any problems with that, and it's definitely easier to plan out and figure out what you're going to do with your character with that system. So, yet I often, it still feels like it has a lot of options. So,
I have a hard time with the Epic Destiny system only because it's like, okay, so for example, on my Artificer, he's capped out, and I capped out the Magister line on him, but I don't have a Twist of Fate. So I kind of want a Twist of Fate. But I can only get a Twist of Fate if I start a whole new enhancement line. But then you start the whole new enhancement, or the new Epic Destiny, rather, line at the bottom of the totem pole. And you've got to re-earn your way all the way to the top.
Indeed.
It's already so useful.
It's really very helpful for you, as Anna's discovering with her character right now.
Right. So it's like, all of a sudden, it's like, well, I kind of want the extra twist, but I kind of also want, don't want to have to... start over from scratch, so to speak, on a new Epic Destiny. So it's a real kind of push and pull mechanic there.
Definitely a challenge. Yeah. Although, one of the things I do love is it's really easy to switch now. Just between quests, you just pop, you go back to your full line. So like when we did the Giant Hold raid this week, I popped over to my full Epic Destiny line. So I would have my 1,000 hit points and all my tankiness, so I can grab some dragons and giants and keep them busy. But then, we went and did some easier quests, and I popped back into, I think I'm working on Juggernaut at the moment, which I've only got like 1 rank in, and so I popped back over to that, and well, yeah, significantly weaker without a full Epic Destiny.
Right.
But
the thing is, especially,
and
there are others. Draconic Incarnation also gives you this, but with the increased intelligence, that really tends to fit well for an artificer. Because you can use the what's the spell that you cast? Sorry, my brain
Insightful
is
strikes.
Yeah, insightful damage. There we go. Mm-hmm. And that just increases your base damage on your repeaters. So throughout his whole life, I've just been eking every intelligence point I can out of that, and it really adds up after a while. It's pretty nice. Yeah. But it's kind of funny actually. Related to DDO Gamer, there, Jeff. I wanted to go with a succubus pet just because I kind of wanted a succubus pet, but I didn't want to spend the points to get it. So I'm glad that you did it, so I could see what it looks like without having to actually do it myself.
Well, she's my favorite. I wrote a whole article about her. I'm even going to talk about her again later in the show, hopefully. So
I want to hear about it. Okay, well, we'll continue with the birthday letter here. Another area where you will see several changes is the introduction of more Astral Diamond shards throughout the game. Volume 3 of the Monster Manual, which is now available in Update 17, not only offers a chance for you to earn your own Beholder pet, but will also let you earn direct-to-pocket Astral shards. As of near future, we will add more ways for you to earn free shards, as well as some compelling new ways to use them to enhance your DDO gaming experience. As I have always said, one of the strengths of DDO is great adventures to undertake, and that is why I'm most pleased to announce the DDO's second expansion titled Shadowfell Conspiracy coming this summer. We are turning our attention back to the Forgotten Realms, and we are taking you to some new regions in Coromir. We will be taking brave heroes level 15 and up to a foreboding prison city in the southeast of Evening Star called Wellon, and high up into the Stormhorn Mountains, north of the High Road.
I think it's Wayloon.
Oh, Wayloon?
Wayloon, yeah, it's Wayloon.
Oh, okay. What did I say?
Wayloon?
Wellon?
I don't know. Wellon.
Okay. Wayloon. Fantasy World. So much fun to pronounce. Almost as good as DDO character names. Shadowfell Conspiracy will have more than just new quests and regions. We'll also be raising the level cap to 28 and providing something often requested by fans: faster access to the Forgotten Realms. With a new prestige character feature we are calling Iconic Heroes. We think we will have an innovative solution that will get you right into the Forgotten Realms starting at level 15. Each of these new Forgotten Realms born characters will start as a race class combination with new racial abilities. I can't wait to tell you more about these characters in the coming months. Later in the year, we have some other great stories planned, and we will have a focus attention on the true reincarnation options and update the system to work with epic level players. Epic True Reincarnation will also introduce a new completionist track. What would you do with 2 more stat points to your TR character? Throw in the rhetorical question right in there. Hard to read those. Yeah. Well, stay tuned for the summer for an update on our development progress. There's lots more to talk about, and my heart races as I selectively share just hints of what we have already in development. The year is going to be another great year for DDO with big, cool new storyline, new D&D monster varieties, and powerful new character abilities. We will start communicating more about enhancements and other content very soon. Of course, I can't end without one last tidbit of awesome upcoming news. I have seen the first rendition of the Owlbear monster, and I can assure everyone that this thing will go from mysteriously acquired pelt to fully animated encounter before long. Oh yeah, I think he's referring to those armors with the owlbear on them. Right. Thank you for many years of fun and feedback, and especially for the many pugs that you have run with me during that time and in advance of the next ones. Happy birthday, DDO and community, Eric Boyer. Yay!
Yay! Thank you.
I've seen a mock-up of the owlbear too, and it looks really awesome. They're doing a really good job. So.
That's great.
If you like the way the owlbear sort of, it's not too far removed from sort of the current version by Wizards of the Coast, and that there's some similarity there. So it looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different sort of owlbear prototypes, but yeah, I would expect they'd go with kind of recent art style. Yeah. But Groovy.
I'm sorry, I'm dying here because the owlbear is just intrinsically such a stupid monster, you know. And everybody gets so excited about it. I could just picture Gygax and Arneson, you know, they had to be smoking the bong that night, right? and they walk into some room and it looks at the DM and what do you see? And he's looking around and he's got a picture of an owl and it's an owl bear. It's an owl bear, you know. And thus was born an iconic D&D monster.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I hang out with a lot of old D&D grognards, and a lot of the creatures, there's really funny stories where a lot of them came from, and some, you know, kind of mysterious back and forth conspiracies. But I know for a fact that a lot of them came from Japanese toys, these strange little rubber toys that you could get from Japan during that time. And you know, they used them as miniatures in the game, and then they had to figure out what the heck were these things. You know, they're just strange little creatures of kind of a random design. So that's where, for instance, the Rust Monster came from. It was one of those toys, and they just, you know, what is this thing? I don't know. It turns your weapons to rust. Great, it's a Rust Monster. So that's how a lot of them were born. They were strange little toys, little international plagiarism early on. But
no, it's inspired by.
Inspired, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
The origin. You know, me, I in some ways in our society today, I miss a little bit of the free-form mix of information and ideas, right? I mean, everything springs from somewhere, and everybody shares. So, but I mean, there's direct ripoff, and then there's, you know, creative homage. I'm all for a certain amount of creativity. But.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot in that letter. That's all there is to it.
A ton of stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely pretty exciting. I've always been a fan of producer Glenn. He's a good guy. He's been on the show before, and he does a good job teasing a lot of neat stuff. And Jerry, I'll let you comment on the things that you like to talk about, and I won't ask too many probing questions because I know that.
Well, I can't really say much besides what's in the letter. You know, Shadowfell conspiracy coming this summer. Level capped to 28. That's pretty awesome. I was thinking the other day, and correct me if I'm wrong, I can't remember if this is actually the case or not, but when Giant Hold first came out, wasn't the level cap 14?
Yes, it was.
I think so.
So then we're essentially doubling where we were, you know, when Giant Hold came out, which is somewhat an interesting sort of mix, having the Epic Giant Hold coming out this year. So, or out this year, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the whole thing about, I don't really actually know too much about the Epic True Reincarnation myself. The designers, you know, are working hard on it, but I don't really know much about that myself.
Yeah.
So I can't really tell you too much. Like I said, I saw the Owlbear. I saw like kind of a 3D mock-up of it, and it looks really, really cool. The iconic heroes, you know, as it's described, it's a way to start at level 15. You know, one of those things that sometimes the Turbine gets requests for is, I love Stormreach, I love Eberron. Obviously, most people who play DDO like Eberron. But there are some people who are just like, I just want to go straight to Forgotten Realms. Let me go straight to Forgotten Realms. And this might be a way to do that, you know. And it's also a way to sort of add sort of a specialized look and feel to these guys. I mean, they're not, you know, they're far different from, say, a Hireling or a path, you know, that you have under the current character creation system. But at the same time, they've got their own sort of thing, and you can customize them. I don't know. It's a little hard to explain. I think the easiest, once we get closer to it, you start seeing what they look like and what they are.
Yeah, it sounded
you'll be impressed. So
these are kind of a little like pre-gen characters, or at least that's what it sounds like, but with the ability to, you know, customize how they look and that sort of thing. I don't know.
See, I could explain it, but then I'd have to tell you things that I unfortunately am not really able to. Like what exactly? Like here are what a couple of them are.
Right.
Like, and I can't really quite say that. So.
No, I got you.
But it'll be iconic combinations, right? There'll be a half-orc barbarian, and there'll be a halfling rogue, because everybody thinks we're always rogues, and right. But how do you get into like the? Well, never mind. I'm asking you. How do you
get into Forgotten Realms? You mean? What was your question? How do you get to Forgotten Realms from level 15?
I guess that is a good question, since he hinted it. Yeah, is there going to be a way to get like a regular level 15 character to Forgotten Realms if you want to?
Well, you can do that right now, can't you? Because you just have to run You just have to run the
I guess
demon.
they
You just
are.
run the quest.
I guess because I always move over level 20s, I always think of them as epic quests, but they're not.
Right.
No,
it's
no.
really 15. So, but this isn't going to replace the existing character generation system. This is a new way for people who want it.
It's an option for people who want to go straight to the Forgotten Realms, and it's an option just for, us grizzled veterans who have played levels 1 through 15 a billion times,
Yeah.
And it's just a way to try out a new sort of a flavor of character. So.
Yeah, I have to think that it's also sort of a compromise between, we could give the ability for people to make level 15 characters, but then everybody would. So you can make a very customized level 15 level 1 character or level 8 or whatever, or you can make a level 15 character that is a little more limited but neat, so that there's a reason to do both. Otherwise,
right.
Otherwise, I just re-roll all my lobbies as level 15s and be done with it. That would be a problem.
But we do have the Stone of Experience now, so a lot of people frankly are already at that situation.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I will say I did break down and buy one of those. So both Ann and I got one, and out of the irresistible box.
I myself have done that as well. Granted, I work for the company, so it's a little easier for me to get one. But
yeah,
I've got one myself, and I used it for a favorite soul monk that I'm working on right now. Mm-hmm. So it was like, I've played clerics enough that I kind of didn't really want to redo the level 1 to 15 experience. So for me, being able to just say, all right, this is what I know I want him to look like at level, at this level. So there you go. Yeah. It's kind of nice. But
yeah, I just love the process of adding levels to my character. So it was definitely a joy. I don't think I'll ever probably buy more than one, but yeah I cranked up an Artificer because I really just didn't have one that was mid-level or high-level. So.
Artificers, man, I love my Artie. He's level 20. Like I say, he's level 25, and he's got the Magister capped out, and he's working on Draconic Incarnation at the moment. And the guy's just incredible. So
yeah, fun characters. Mine's kind of like a melee dwarf.
Yeah.
You have a melee artificer?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
He does.
Well, actually, melee artificer. There's a character called the Juggernaut, or a build that's popular on the forums, and that's a primarily melee artificer. It switches over to use ranged attacks when the timers are off on its sort of super bonus ranged attacks, but then does two-handed fighting the rest of the time. It's quite the popular jack of all trades character at the moment. So mine's not quite like that. I made it a little while beforehand, but yeah, it's a dwarf. I use a dwarven axe. And I have two-handed fighting to get the glancing blows off of the single-handed weapon, plus the augments from the rune arm make for a pretty nasty one-handed weapon. So it's a pretty good character.
Yeah,
and
I've actually I know there's some people on the DDO dev team that play melee artificers as well. I myself just go with the standard rune arm repeater combo because I think it's kind of awesome to tear apart mobs from a great distance. But.
You should nudge the devs for me and get more of those construct essence lines, the feat, because only one of them. It's kind of a hard compromise. It can half repair or half heal, and it's kind of like I don't know if this is working. It's a neat idea, but
I can see more of that in the Epic Destiny for Arcane Artificer.
Sure. I just need. I want to go one step further and enhance my repairability. That would be awesome. So.
Well, you never know. Got the new enhancement system coming.
Yeah,
so.
That's right.
Yep.
But you kind of didn't talk about the other part of that letter, which was Fernando's chime in.
Oh, yeah. I guess I didn't see it, or
Where
I guess
was
I missed it.
Can you share
It was
it?
late. Well, let's see. It was post 238. How could you possibly miss that? Let me actually drop it into the show notes here so that you can
okay. All right.
talk about it. But basically, the big thing that Fernando announced was that VIPs are going to get permanent 10% XP bonus.
Cool.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, I'll go ahead and read this real quick for everybody. If they didn't notice post 210 or whatever it was. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to drop in and say happy birthday to DDO, and thanks to everyone for continuing to play and support our game. And congratulations to Glenn on his first big producer letter. Eric and the rest of the DDO team have some great additions to the game coming, and this expansion, and we are excited to start sharing information with you. I wanted to touch on the topic of bugs and product quality that I have been brought up a lot in this thread. First thing to say is we recognize that there have been some lingering issues with both the U17 development and a recent billing system migration. Fixes for the major issues introduced in these changes are being readied now and hopefully will be deployed as soon as tomorrow. So birthday gifts and missing monk outfits will hopefully be fixed tomorrow, looking for an official announcement soon. We would have gotten out to this sooner, but we have the fix for some new causes of server lag and disconnects that will be part of that patch and also needed some extra time to bake in. We know that there are significant bugs that have, and the game have gotten all. Let me start that again. We know also that there are significant bugs that have been in the game a lot longer, particularly some remaining issues in the Epic Destinies. We have made some important fixes at the end of last year, but we know there is still work left to do. Our plan is to prioritize fixing these issues alongside our bug fix time for the enhancements and other system changes planned for the expansion. Many thanks in advance to those of you who will help us try features on Lamania in the coming months and identify the issues most in need of fixing. We are committed to gathering your feedback and working to ensure that we leave both Epic Destinies and enhancements in better shape by the time Shadowfell Conspiracy ships. The last thing I wanted to respond with is the discussion on the VIP plan. We are always striving to offer great value to our VIPs, and we think that they're as more than just getting access to the new content. While our VIPs will continue to receive regular new content and features outside the expansions, we will be adding other valuable benefits to the program. For example, we already have a change coming in the next patch as of a belated birthday present, maybe, which will add 10% boost to all earned XP for VIP accounts. We can't make every player always decide it is worthwhile to be a VIP, but we will continue to do what we can to make the program a good deal for our most ardent players. And we will share more details on these changes as they are solidified. Happy 7th birthday, DDO. Here's to 7 great years and many more to come, Fernando. Yeah, nice.
There was quite a bit of blowback about VIP when they came out with the new paid expansion because, and I can kind of get that, actually. I had kind of the feeling myself. If I'm going to be contributing an additional $80 a year on top of my monthly fee, well, that's starting to be, you know, yet more regular fee, right? So yeah. I don't have the right words for this. I was explaining it to my gamer girl, and I said, all right, this time I'm really going to go premium. This time I mean it. She's like, yeah, sure you are. you with 15 characters on just one server, yeah, you're going to do that. But I guess I can kind of see that point. I mean, if we're going to have a regular monthly outlay and a regular annual outlay, that does start to kind of add up and feel heavy.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. I'd always, you know, I guess I'm a software developer. Usually it's not a whole lot anyway, and I play so much DDO that if I didn't play it, I'd be buying a lot of other games. So it usually works out pretty good for me substitution-wise. But more and more stuff is free to play these days, though. I mean, you could entertain yourself forever. I am envious of kids today. Like when I was a kid, free video games. Yeah, right. Good luck with that.
Those were called pirated Apple IIe floppies, right?
That's right. Or hanging out at your friend's house, one of the two.
Yeah.
Or a broken machine at the arcade, maybe. But yeah, nowadays, I mean, you can do all kinds of gaming for free.
When I was a kid, I remember because you know your parent would not want to give you too much money for video games when you're at the mall. So she'd give me, okay, here's $2.50. Well, you know, when you've got paying upwards of 50 cents for a video game, that $2.50 doesn't last too long, right? But you don't want to go after 10 minutes. So I used to you'd go in there and you'd poke your fingers in to see if anyone left any quarters behind in the machine. You know, you'd see if you could find the button up top, which theoretically has rumored to give you some kind of free play, and doesn't really happen. You'd hope someone basically played so well that they left some quarters in there and kind of keep an eye out for it. You know. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of funny. Yeah.
Days of yore. Yeah. Then we had all kinds of little stunts we would try to pull to get some free video game play. But nowadays, piece of cake. There's free games everywhere. So I can definitely understand by value comparison, it's a tougher market every year. So I don't know. It's good to give people value whenever you can.
Right. I mean, the idea about the expansion is that it's an expansive area. You know, so it has additional costs outside of the regular development cycle, and you're removing those costs through.
Yeah, no one's arguing whether or not it's that people are putting real time into it or the value of it. They're just saying.
I totally felt like this one delivers a similar value than What were you saying, Jeff?
I was gonna say nobody was really arguing the value of this stuff. You know, I mean, it's just like somebody went back and did the math and realized the only thing VIPs got last year was Druid. All the content was either free to play or in the expansion pack, and it just. I'm just saying there was a lot of noise, you know. So the 10% is a good. I don't want to say first step, but it's definitely a good sign of caring about the VIP accounts. You know, people want to feel like they matter, and here's a good way to feel like yes, your VIP does matter. Here, have 10%.
Yeah.
Does it stack though?
It better.
Oh, of course it stacks. It'll stack for sure.
Yeah. Good question though. Somebody will want to know, and so that's good that we ask. Of course, Anne has the lifetime membership, so she never has to worry about any of this stuff. Lucky girl.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got? Well, as we've talked about, new expansion was announced. So, you know, we pretty much covered that. One thing we wanted to note is, as a tabletop player, when I was running a 4th edition campaign, I actually used some of the modules from the Shadowfell Conspiracy line. I don't remember if it was called Shadowfell Conspiracy, but it was a Shadowfell line of adventures. So there was Keep on the Shadowfell, Thunderspire Labyrinth, Pyramid of Shadows. And I ran Thunderspire Labyrinth and Pyramid of Shadows for my team. So it's funny because normally I'm not a big Forgotten Realms guy, so when people talk about it, I don't know anything except maybe Elminster and you know, Drizzt or something. But on these ones, I'll actually know some of the locations when they're talking about, oh yeah, the mountains north of so and so. I'm like, yeah, I had the characters go up there, and I know some of those locations.
Yeah,
so that's kind of cool.
Those were some of my favorite modules that we had in our D&D group. So if you ever do the Mid of Shadows, you'll love it.
Nice.
Yeah, there's like a gang of humans stuck in the Pyramid of Shadows. It's like this pyramid that has no entrance, but there's ways to teleport inside and stuff, so people get stuck there. And there was a gang, and I had them talking in kind of gangy slang, and so they referred to the pyramid as the Mid. Like, hey, welcome to the Mid, man. So that's how Anne thinks of it. What else? On February 28th, we had a little bit of downtime for Hotfix, so we always welcome hotfixes.
Yay.
That was to give people the outfits. We basically ran a script in the background while people weren't in there to kind of help ease the ability to get it done. That did continue while the servers were up. You know, it took a while to get all those outfits out, but people should have them now.
Yeah, I'm curious. How does that work? If you had a missing one, you're supposed to see them in the mail, or?
Yep. It'll just be in the mail.
Okay.
It was some kind of fancy Tron-like code script where it was like, is it gone? Now it's back. Here it is. So.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there was Fernando mentioned in the letter there was some kind of performance optimizations. We were able to find a few things that were causing crashes and fix that. You can complete your Ghoul Hunter now in the Monster Manual 3 deeds. Before the hotfix, you couldn't do that. What else did I say was in the hotfix? This was such a long week, I barely even remember. It was like, so that was Thursday. That was like 30 years ago, something like that. Oh yeah, the birthday box, right? So everyone got their birth. We had turned off the birthday box due to some issues, and now it's back. So
cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I was lucky. I opened all my birthday boxes the first day. So,
hey, I noticed you had mentioned last week on DDOcast that they, you had mentioned that maybe they were bugged and weren't arriving.
Oh,
they
yeah,
were deliberately turned off.
Oh, okay.
And now they're back. So.
Interesting. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, they're much welcomed.
The astute might be able to parse out why.
I'm sure there's something, but so it goes. Yeah, if it's deliberately turned off, then I know what smell is in the air at that point. But you know, and this year I didn't get like 3 or 4 of them when it came back. So for last year, yeah, so it goes. But you know, more and more now, all my guys have +2 tomes on almost everything from the birthday thing. So I did pick up a few of the other rewards for change. So.
I usually go for the spirit cakes myself because I figured, you know, I tend to screw up sometimes, and this is kind of an easy way to just be like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
Noob push the new button, and there you go. Right. I'm back up and running.
I was kind of sad that they were bound to character this time.
Yeah,
I usually put them all in the shared bag, and then when I need them, I take them out.
They've never been bound before.
Oh,
she's right.
That's the cakes are bound. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting.
Makes a difference.
Oh well.
I only used tomes this time. Every single person had one stat that was only at a +1 or +0. So a lot of people got charisma raises.
Yeah, I had a lot of intelligence go up.
Yeah,
a lot of my characters got smarter.
They got some education.
What else? Crystal Cove is back as of the hotfix. Now through March 10th, it'll be going. So we've got a link in the show notes for a guide, tinyurl.com/DDO Crystal Cove. And guide's has not yet been updated with the epic mobs, but pretty much they look like half-orcs, according to my shoutouts here. So I went out there very, very briefly, but not with an epic level character. I was out there with.
Well, I found out they look like half-orcs the hard way by attacking one of them and then dying promptly.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges / excitements of the Crystal Cove is you never know exactly what you're going to get unless you have the examine window.
Yeah, it's it's open to epic levels now, but it's a fairly, I mean, it's not a huge difference between the epic level version and the regular heroic version. So
and
there's a little bit of new loot too.
Yeah, you get that ability. One of the things that's interesting in D&D is the difference between different levels of monsters is a little less significant in some other games. So you can kind of reach up and tackle a tougher monster and get away with it. As where a lot of MMOs, if it's like 4 levels above you, forget it. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
But let's see what else we got.
I still love that cavalry plate.
I
actually, it's funny. My level 25 artificer. I know I should be wearing some other stuff, but I'm not. I'm still wearing the tier 3 cavalry plate on that thing. So
I have that on my my ranger fighter character. He alternates with the parasitic breastplate. I go back and forth, but because I have like a +10 reflex save thing on that, so it's great for running traps.
Who doesn't love a heal clicky, huh? Have you guys noticed that's in the new loot list this year for Cove?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't.
A heal clicky, heal spell, not cure.
Seriously?
Heal clicky.
It's a heal clicky.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I want to go to the Cove. Hello.
I haven't really gone in there because I don't know. I guess I have almost all the loot. I didn't know there was any new loot. Right. So
I wasn't going in either. I have everything. I have extras. I have stuff in the shared bank just in case. The leather armor up to level 20, and the ring, but no, heal clicky.
Yeah.
Not enough.
Although I will say the trinkets are kind of always nice. The upgraded trinkets out of there are pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what, and those you can use them on a lot of characters. So those are pretty nice.
So FYI, thanks to the people in the crew, full upgraded flask rum heals for 198 points of damage.
Yeah, nice.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty good to have. Nice emergency thing.
Right. Plus, it gets rid of statuses and everything because it's the heal spell. It's not just a cure. Right.
That actually, that's sort of the same principle why I tend to, on all my heal bots, use the Silver Flame. What's that thing?
The potions? Or?
No.
Silver Flame potions?
No, the enhancement line with the. I spoke before I looked it up. That's fine.
You're talking about the prestige enhancement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the Sovereign Host thing.
There we go. Yeah, Silver Flame Sovereign Host. Yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
That's largely why I do it. It's not the hit point bonus. It's the ability to remove all the debuffs.
Yeah, well, that one it takes off the negative levels as well, which is great.
Yeah.
I also use it to measure my healing amplification because it's a flat 1,000 points, so I can tell exactly how much healing amp I have on a character by tagging them with that.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, it's really good because it divides nice and evenly, and it's always the exact same amount. So, what else we got? 250 point turbine points. The reimbursement for the downtime went out, so that's cool. I got mine. I enjoyed it.
I used it quickly.
Yes, we did, and then some. Hey, we got 250 turbine points. Let's get an autos irresistible box. You're a DD addict when. Yes. Let's see, cool DDO concept art that you can get in celebration of the 7th anniversary. Turbine put up a bunch of their DDO concept art developed over the years from 2005 to 2012, so you can get a kind of interesting preview of the history of the game.
I may have been basically the one. I basically did that this week. That was one of my projects.
Thank you, Jerry. I've been waiting for that. Yeah,
it was awesome. It was basically a matter of me thinking, can I find a way to get access to like the big storehouse of images dating all the way back to 2004, 2005, and they were like, "Yeah, here it is," and I was like, "Ooh, okay," So I found all sorts of cool stuff,
That's great.
But I wanted to find basically iconic stuff, stuff that was on the original DDO box, things that were used when we went free to play, things that were used for Menace of the Underdark, and find some of these images that were used during various promotions and articles and see what we could release. And there may be some more coming here too for concept art. But and then I sort of did both that and the next thing on the list as well. The wallpapers, was basically a similar project. It was a big storehouse, and I was like wallpaper concept art. So
cool. Well, you guys do the wallpapers from time to time. That's kind of. But those are always cool. I like them. I often put up on my computers at work and stuff. So
yeah, but if you haven't seen these new ones though, they're like I say, they're not so much in-game screenshots as they are things like key art, box art, things like that.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
the focus of the images is a little different from the usual wallpapers.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, I haven't actually checked those out. I looked at the concept art a bit, but I didn't look at the wallpapers yet.
A lot of it was like classic load screens and stuff. It was nice to see it again, and in all kinds of different sizes too, for different types of different form factors. From your iPhone all the way up to.
Yeah, that was the other project. I mean, basically, it was me talking to someone and saying, I want to get DDO wallpapers on every device I can think of. And so then I started looking, and do you know how many screen resolutions there are for cell phones out there?
Thousands.
Yeah, literally, it's every single model of cell phone pretty much has a different resolution. So I would quickly realize it's like, all right, my original plan to do what are the biggest resolutions for cell phones? It's like, oh, that's like 30 of them. So I'm not going to make 30 different images, right?
Yeah.
But I did the iPhone 4, the iPhone 5, the Samsung Galaxy S3, which is somewhat compatible with other Samsung phones. And then I did the computer resolutions, laptop 16:9, 16:10, and 4:3. And figured if I get all of those, I pretty well cover, 80% of the average resolutions out there.
Yeah. I mean, most places can resize them, so.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you, Jerry, for all that hard work you've done.
Appreciate it.
That wasn't hard work. That was fun. I actually mostly did that on my off time, just because it was kind of a labor of love. Yeah.
And thank you for the halflings too.
Yeah, I mentioned this on your blog, but it's true. I was looking through. I was like, well, which races should I do? Originally, we had basically a bunch of early concept art from pre-development, 2005, of all the races, and I was like, well, which one should I put up? And I was like, well, I should do the Warforged because they look awesome, and then I should do the halfling because Jeff would love that. that was my thinking process on that. So,
Awesome.
Thank you. Serious golf clap for Jerry.
yeah. But it's actually interesting though when you look at that piece of concept art in particular because they really do from concept to implementation was very similar. The way that concept looks is very similar to the way they actually look in game, and I thought that was kind of interesting to see. Because sometimes concepts are more conceptual, and it undergoes a lot of changes by the time it actually gets in game. But not for
the graphics designers look at it and they're like, "You're kidding, right?"
Yeah.
Most of them were like that. I mean, like the House J was the only one I saw that seemed like it looked really preliminary, and a bunch of work had been done afterwards. All the rest of them, they looked like somebody painted what they saw on the screen. It was just it was very interesting.
Yeah, it was actually the other way around. They painted it and then implemented it in game.
Sure.
So,
yeah. Cool.
Yep.
What else we got here? The PAX East party. We can talk about that a little bit. It's on Friday, March 22nd, 2013, from 8:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. at Jillian's Boston. And so you can meet members of the Asheron's Call, DDO, and Lotro dev teams. There'll be a buffet loaded up with great munchies, including some vegetarian offers, offerings just for Jerry, no, for anybody. And of course, there will be great swag and raffles for those that attend. You might be lucky enough to walk away with a lifetime subscription to the game, or your choice of other great door prizes. Plus, if you're one of the first 200 people through the door, we'll buy your first drink, beer, wine, or soft drinks. Due to venue requirements, you must be 21 or older with proper ID in order to attend, because Jillian's is a bar. You do not need a PAX East pass, however, to attend. You just need to get your invitation or tickets from Turbine to enter the event. You must RSVP to receive your tickets. Send requests to rsvp@turbine.com. Space is limited. Tickets are first come, first serve, so RSVP today.
You do it now.
Yeah, unless it's already sold out. They're going quick.
Yeah, last I heard on Friday mid-afternoon, they were in several hundred already. So I don't even know what the status is. Sapience over on Lord of the Rings is the one who's really dealing with a lot of the sort of administrative work for organizing the party on this. But if you are going to PAX East and you want to hang out, and you think you can get to Jillian's, absolutely RSVP. But if you're just in the area that weekend, you don't have to be going to PAX East. You don't need a PAX pass to get to Jillian's. It's kind of actually over by Fenway, if you've never been there before. And it's, just something if you want us to stop by and say hi, you can. And I don't know, people who have been there in past years will know that they really roll out the coolness on the swag. We had sweatshirts and T-shirts. They were giving away some screen-printed art in years past.
When I was there, they were
really nice.
Yeah, the last one I went to at PAX, they gave away some graphics cards and like sound system.
Full-size maps. Like wonderful maps of Middle Earth. Beautiful maps. And they also did hardware. Like they had like a couple Mad Cats kits, which I really wanted. It's like, oh.
There's often all kinds of cross-promotional stuff that's really neat prizes, and it's just fun. Usually the food's really good, and company's really good. So.
Yeah, and it's a good way to really actually see some of your developers in person, and actually corner them and tell them why you hate X, Y, and Z. No, I'm kidding.
If you wait for them to have enough drinks, you might be able to.
You know what your problem is.
No, how about instead of complaining, why don't you walk up and give them flowers and a box of chocolate?
No. Hey, to be honest, there's a lot of good, productive conversations. I think you'll find that the development team, provided you're polite and not a jerk, you can have some really good conversations with people at this party as well about both the development process for DDO and Lotro. It's a good time. It really is.
Yeah, no, they're really cool.
Yep.
I wish we were going. Aww.
Steiner's going to be there.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Give us a
we've already kind of talked. I think probably that's when we're going to do the interview.
Cool.
For the show, so we'll basically grab a couple of the devs and run some tape when it's not so loud, either before or afterwards, something like that.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah. And our DDO store news for the week, you got now through March 7th, 20% off of selected creature companions, treats, and gear. So if you want little friends, a good time to get them.
And new temporary release of the Scorpion.
Yeah, we got the Scorpions.
Yep.
There's a jeweled scorpion, a poison scorpion, another one. There's like 3 of them. I haven't gotten a scorpion yet, but I picked up a water elemental because they were pretty cheap. But I don't think the scorpions are on sale. They're available, but not 20% off. So
it's
the older guys are.
I think.
But they're pretty cool. I always like the jeweled scorpions a lot. So they're really the ones out in the desert. They're really neat looking. Nice piece of graphics.
Yeah, there they are. I've been in the desert a lot recently.
Yeah. Yeah, I always liked them. I thought, wow, these things are really pretty as they're chewing my ankles off. They're nasty little guys. They can really tear you up if you have low armor class. Those guys are brutal. Let's see. Feature 17. Okay, so I'm gonna skim through this and and realize that we hadn't really done the official release notes, but that's because we did a bunch of the beta ones and there weren't a whole lot of changes. So, but we'll go over some of the basics in case people were wondering. So for Epic Giant Hold, in order to qualify for the raid, what you got to do is run Prison of the Plane, Madstone Crater, and Cabal for 1 on Epic. and then you have to talk to some giants, of course. Then you go and run Giant Hold Tour on Epic, and then you'll be able to do the raid, and you can just kind of then do it every 3 days or so after that. So really easy to qualify for those.
You know, in hindsight, maybe we could have put this into the release notes, but one thing to keep in mind is that the NPCs for the Epic version pickups of the quests are different. So when you're in Giant Hold, you know, if you are used to going to person X to pick up the non-Epic version, the heroic version, it's a different person that'll get you the Epic version.
Yeah, so just look around for. I just look around for people with symbols on their heads, and I click on them until they cough up their quests. Yeah. I leave no symbol unclicked.
Yeah.
The reason why I put this down is because I made a mistake.
I actually made a mistake on this myself. I had a total noob moment where I ran Prison of the Plains, and then I was like, wait a second. Oh.
Yeah, and for the exact same quest had issue.
Yeah. All right, now I got into Giant Hold Tour, and I haven't run any of those on Epic yet, but I got into Epic Giant Hold Tour.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Was that working as intended?
I think so. I mean, there was something about that in the original notes that if you had previously completed all those quests, then you would already be flagged for it. So I think if you've done them all already, but I'm not certain. I know on my characters I ran them on Epic, and some of my other. But the thing is, I never really remember which characters I've run all the quests on or not. So I don't know. Yeah. That's a good question. Yeah.
On my TR, I have, of course, run all those things on her before, so she did get into the Epic version, even though she's not Epic level.
Oh, okay. So you can do that. Oh, you got into the Epic version, even though you're not Epic level?
Wow. I probably ran him when she was a little bit younger than intended, so meaning I kind of piked.
Oh, okay.
So,
right.
Wow.
Oh, I see. You can qualify the quest, but you can't. You didn't actually get to go into the actual thing.
No.
Yeah. Okay. No, I understand. Yeah. Okay. And of course, we've got the new Epic Dragon Scales, 20 Flawless Dragon Scales, 10 Restored Dragon Relics, Elven or Giant Relics, 3 Commendations of Heroism, which I like that you can use the Commendations of Heroism both from the Giant Hold raid and from the Spider raid, from the Wolf raid. So that's pretty cool. I like those crossover. Yeah, caught in the web. That's real nice. Yeah. It is no longer possible to turn in outdated dragon scale armor in exchange for scales, but yeah, so be it. The scales are a lot easier to get now, though. So they almost always drop in the dragon chests. Yeah. So much easier to do that.
Yeah, on Epic Hard, where we get consistently getting 2 scales per run on each of the dragons on Giant Hold Tour.
Yeah, I'd say 1.5 to 1.75 seem to be the average on hard, something like that. Let's see. Of course, you've got the Epic landscape with the random encounters, including fun dragons. We've talked a lot about that before. There's a few changes within some of the quests, like we had discussed how in I don't remember the name of the quest, Cabal for one, that you get 2 chests at the end only if you didn't make a deal with the sneaky guy, stuff like that. So there are little changes here and there, and some new voiceovers.
And also, basically, there's a die roll for some of the various skill checks that are in the quest. In the past, I think it was always maybe intended that they were that way, but they just never really functioned.
Yeah, they had just been a fixed number.
Right, and so now there is an actual die roll, so there's some kind of randomness to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Let's see what else we got here. Some of the there's been some changes to the challenges. Change to the dungeon status window. It doesn't say what challenge that is. So anyway, Dryad's Groves are open again.
It's an issue. Basically, what happens is that even though some of the dungeon objectives for the challenges are updated, the dungeon status, which is the checkbox, will reflect the change of the objective. But if you actually look at the quest XP window, that's the X
I gotcha.
It hasn't been updated. So
understood.
Just letting you know.
Just in case and also we noticed that there's a little bit of strangeness right now with some of the favor when it comes to challenges. So, but Anne contacted a game master and got her favor restored from that. So
yeah, apparently, if you just log out and then log back in again for X amount of time, it should actually come in.
Oh, okay.
Hey, this the screenshot is for Vincuri. He asked me to put that into chat, so there you go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Epic Destiny changes. A few adjustments there for the Grandmaster Flower attacks have been standardized. I think we mentioned those before in the show notes. Nothing terrifyingly exciting, just some DC adjustments. Monsters have had some behavioral changes, and I will say that they do seem to be behaving better. They never quite completely eliminate some of the funniness when you blind or mez a monster who's busy trying to do something. I think a little bit it has to do with the client as much as the server, but they've made some improvements on that, and I've definitely noticed some of those. There's been some changes to stealth, which I have not experienced yet because I don't do a lot of stealth play. But
it looks like there may be some kind of maybe a bug that's under investigation with some of that as well. People have been reporting a little bit of funkiness in regards to, say, invisibility.
Yeah.
I don't know what the current status is on that, other than I know that some bug reports have gone in and people are taking a look at it. So,
yeah, and I've noticed some differences in general with the monster aggro, how things aggro, especially in Giant Holds, is a little different than it used to be. Like, the facing of the monster seems to matter a little bit more. Like, I can walk up right behind a monster. If it's not looking towards me, it often doesn't see me. But a monster that's looking in my direction and is a lot farther away than it used to be will eyeball you and come running over. So
right.
I don't know if that's related to the stealth thing or if the stealth thing was the byproduct of that or what, but definitely a little bit of difference in the way things aggro up on you now.
Yeah.
So, which I've found both can work to my advantage and disadvantage. Just depends on the situation. But generally I like it. They seem more alive, right? I'm like, hey, I see you over there, Giant, and Giant's like, yeah, I see you too, pal. I'm coming over. As where I walk behind some guy that's like, facing a campfire, and he's just sitting there looking at the campfire, and I'm just strolling by. So that's, it's kind of neat. I like that. As where it used to feel if you just kind of zoned into their radar area, they would all pop up and come after you.
Yeah.
Air elementals, you can block their knockdown. That's very nice. I've successfully done that a couple times now, so that's quite handy.
With dragons and giants now. Ah.
Yeah, with various things. It's good to know how to do that, especially in the new raid. It's very helpful to know. Oh, I should block or I'm going to go flying. So, changes to feat. We got the magical training feat now. Seen some people discuss it. Not a lot of people that I know are like, yeah, I'm going to add that to my character. But if you're a bard or something, kind of handy.
Right. Essentially, it was in also some basically specialized builds wanted to get Echoes of Power because you didn't automatically get it unless you were certain classes. So now, if that applies to you and you want it, I mean, it's not something that I don't think a lot of people are going to take, but there's some very specialized builds that might get something from it. And if that's you, then now you've got the option.
So, it's going on my Pally build.
Yeah, our paladins could be definitely handy. What else? Changed the items. Well, I'm not going to go in all that, but there were some changes. Curse spewing and improved curse spewing. We've talked about before. They happen on a 20, but there's no save. I haven't used a lot of those, so I haven't seen them go off much, but I've done it a little bit.
I actually like curse spewing. I not so much once I've been into the epic levels, although I don't know. Maybe I'll have to take a look at it now. But for a long time, I used it on a healbot cleric. I used because he wasn't the kind of guy who was going to lead the kill count or anything like that. He was really a true support character, and I found that the curse spewing was actually fairly useful to the party.
Yeah, I often get it on throwers. A lot of my characters will have a thrower to hit levers or just to do something when I'm otherwise unable, if I'm not a ranged character. And I'll often get curse spewing ones just because I figure if I'm not doing very much damage, I might as well do something else. So, yeah. But with the change, though, it's a little harder to tell because you don't get the save every time it doesn't go off. It only happens on a 20, and then it always happens. So
right.
It's a little less...
Like I say, I haven't actually brought this guy out since Update 17, so...
Yeah.
But.
I used to like to have it on Displacers and Banishers because those required... It affected their ability to resist my disruption or banishment.
Right.
But those have changed now, too.
Yeah. So that whole... gig is a little different. Vorpal is a little more immediate benefit. You get a plus 1.5 or plus 0.5 damage dice on the weapon, so that's real nifty. It actually did, I think, make Vorpals a little more viable than they were. They were kind of almost junk weapons for a little while, so I think that's a good change. And we got a little bit more augment info than we had before. Some of the quests where you can now find items that have new augments on them are Waterworks, Irestone, Catacombs, Chanticor, Red Willow, Tears of Dracan, Caves of Coromir, Gwendolyn's Stand, Assault on Splinter Skull, Stormcleave Outpost, Delira's Tomb, Sardisk Isle, Ruins of Threnal, The Restless Isles, Sands of Nectarune, Tempest Spine, and Necropolis. Although the place I noticed the most was when I used my Stone of Experience, because you get a little set of kind of mid-level items, and with Stone augment. Yeah, it was like Augment Slot Nirvana or something. There were a ton. So that it definitely makes those items a little better, because you're like, well, this item might be okay, but like one of them came with a heavy fortification augment in it, and I'm like, well, that makes it a lot better. Yeah, it was that ring that makes you immune to fear, which is it's okay, but when it also gives you heavy fort, it's awesome.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Heavy
It's
fort on the
good
Reaver's
stuff.
Rank? Oh
yeah, heavy fort on the Reaver's Rank. Yeah.
Yeah. Otto's box, good.
Made it a little bit nicer. And I don't know if that was randomly in there, because I know that augment slots have a random chance of having a pre-done augment, or whether that was fixed. I don't know, because I only did it once. So
Well, I don't know.
yeah,
I didn't. Not sure.
But it definitely breathes new life into those items. I mean, they're a lot more useful when you can throw a couple more effects on them.
Yeah.
They become really good. So
well,
I think this is a great change.
we have to be careful. Because, well, maybe it's just me, because I am the one who always accumulates all of the really bad named items.
Yeah.
Now I have 2 sets of them, the old set and the new set, with an augment, which still means it's a really bad item.
What the wolf whistle?
Oh, I got I immediately pulled a coronation shield, and I immediately got, right away. That's just how I am.
But you could have an excuse to get rid of the old ones now,
I have to go through. I have such a throwing away is in my future. Sammyus Garubo, though, had a funny line. He said that if you get the Nightforge Gorget and put Featherfall in it, now you can call it the Noose. All right, not that funny, but kind of funny.
It took me a while to get it.
Actually, but you know what, though? That is actually... I think they did talk about it during the cocktail hour here this week, but I didn't really realize that one myself. But that's actually made that item far more valuable, having a slot on it with heavy fortification. Because that's the... that is... There are other ways nowadays to do it, but it's a key way for... It's particularly free players to get heavy fortification at level 9.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yep.
And now you've got the extra augment slot on there too. It's actually pretty valuable.
Yeah, it's a fairly fun quest, that one. I run it every once in a while just because. But let's see. I don't know. Let's talk a little bit about stuff on DDO Gamer this week. You had something about desert blacksmiths.
Well, yes, it seems like there's probably only going to be about a dozen or so items left where permanent damage matters, because everything is bound now, right? But I mean, there are still those, your bloodstones, this and that. There are things that take damage, loot gen items and so forth, and
crafted items.
Yes. Okay.
Sometimes.
So the number of things.
Actually, wait a second. Yeah, because they're bound.
No,
never mind.
That's right. So. And there are a couple of bound things that do take damage. Somebody corrected me on that, but I don't remember what they were, and they're edge cases anyway. But anyway, so I put together a quick how to use the expert repair smith out in the desert. I mean, this isn't news. This has been out here since the desert first came out in 2007. But there's a little trick to using her, so maybe not everybody knows it, or maybe not everybody even knows she's out there. So I wrote up about that. Now, my personal experience with her has been kind of up and down anyway. It seems like half the time I take something out that I really don't want to get broken, so I take it to her, and it gets a point of permanent damage anyway. So so there she is, buyer beware. Right?
And, yeah, isn't there also one where you get additional favor and it has a reduced chance of damaging items?
Well, supposedly, that's what you're supposed to get at second stage free agent favor. However, I've never gotten that one to function correctly. So I just assumed it was bugged and gave up. Maybe I was insufficiently tenacious about it. I don't know.
I think, Sig, you're talking about the DDO store repair shop.
Well, there's that too. But no, I was thinking of when you get favor in the free agents,
right.
You're supposed to get some ability to repair things with less chance of damage. It's not no chance of damage, but it's like a reduced or something.
Right.
But yeah, I never figured that out either, to be honest. I've also never had an item actually get permanently broken or damaged. I know guildies who have, but I've never had it happen to me.
I have.
Yeah.
So the secret, but the ultimate secret is just bind it to yourself. You're not going to trade away something that's only got, this much. Here's your blue bar of health,
Right.
and it's got this much left. You're not going to ever trade that anyway. So just go ahead and bind it and attune it, and now it won't take permanent damage anymore, and your Bloodstone works just as well like that as it does when it's brand new.
Yeah.
Anyway, so not groundbreaking, but there it is. The other, I spent a lot of time in the desert this week, and one of the things I noticed as my gamer girl and I were marching, just the two of us, were marching out to run the Chamber of Ryum again, was just what duoing means nowadays.
I love that shot. Yeah, I do that. I do that myself just for kicks.
Yeah, this is what it means. There are 10 creatures in this picture. One of which is me, one of which is my gamer girl, and the 8 of which is our entourage. So, poor King Rayum. I mean, he stood no chance, right?
I think you could have actually upped that a little bit, because you could, like, say, if you've got the, what's the trinket slot item that lets you summon?
The Chaos Shard? Shard of Zoriat?
Yeah, the Shard of Zoriat. So you could have, the creature companion, the Shard of Zoriat, and then a hireling with the summons on it as well.
Yes,
and then you could
right.
use your Epic Destiny, which I believe does that. Actually, I haven't checked.
No, the Epic Destiny is a regular summon slot, so
Okay.
it would contest with the trinket.
The Shard of Zoriat, but some of the hirelings do have the capability of pulling in their own summons as well.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
those are fun.
I may have
There's even summons that can have summons.
Yeah, I may have gone once to the development team and said that we need to have creature companions. So, yeah.
My pet needs a pet.
Yeah.
Speaking of pets, the other really cool thing that I stumbled across this week, my favorite thing of the month so far, is I was advancing up the Magister tree, and I came across a succubus. I had a succubus in my pocket. I didn't even know. In fact, I had taken this Destiny slot like a week ago, and I never bothered to use it. And it's because I'm an enchanter. There's this one slot in this Destiny where it gives you the ability to summon a creature that's appropriate towards your specialized school of magic. Mm-hmm. And because she's an enchanter, her choice was succubus. Other schools get other choices. Somebody mentioned there's like a Elder Dryad that's a pretty good healer. I don't know. All I know is the succubus is awesome. She's got devil immunities. She throws fireballs and lightning bolts all the time. She melees by flying up and kicking things, woo, like that. It's kind of cute. And mainly she just brings a whole bunch of visual awesomeness to the group. So that's become the strange saying of the week is, oh no, I've run out of succubus. Hold on. So she's with me always now.
Very cool.
And I'm not leaving Magister until I can twist of fate the ability to bring her with me. So she's very survivable. She almost never gets killed. It's just, she doesn't do a ton of damage, but she does a great job. She does some damage, and she does a really great job of diverting the attention of the bad guys. Yeah. She's totally worth having. And, how often have you said that about a summons? Totally worth having. The Panther, the Succubus, that's it. That's the short list right there.
I disagree. I think the Shard of Zoriat Beholder is really, really good.
Okay, all right, you're right.
And frankly, the Reaver can be pretty useful as well.
Mind Flayer's all right.
Yeah, the Mind Flayer's all right.
Yeah, the Mind Flayer's good, yeah.
The Taken is useless, but funny.
Some of it depends, though, if you buff them up a little bit, too.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, they're not going to go toe-to-toe and start, equaling your kill count, but they are really good for distracting mobs,
All right, I guess I gotta add the air elemental to that list, right?
Yeah.
Some cases the water elemental.
Yeah, air elemental.
Right. Nonetheless, it's a short list, and it's nice to have another addition to it. Last thing I wanted to talk about from DDO Gamer this week is we touched on it a little bit last week, and it has to do with just the cascade of gems that have come into the game and how much fun they are. So I've really been enjoying that. Was the hot patch supposed to tone down the gem shower a little bit? Or?
No, that didn't make it into the hotfix.
No. So
conveniently, it's not been fixed yet.
Conveniently, richer because of it.
Every single chest I've opened this week has had a big long line of gems in it, and it's really nice. So I mean, I know one day I played really hard and I got a lot of chests. I don't always get some days I'm doing adventure area stuff where the chestage is down, but I was doing high chestage stuff, and I got $250,000 worth of plat or $250,000 plat. Wrong word. $250,000 of our currency, whatever the hell it is, in gems in one day.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, let's be honest here. This isn't going to last forever, but it's with us for now, and we'll see how long it lasts.
Enjoy it while it is around.
Yeah, you guys really, that when you missed a little bit of a PR thing, it could be. And now until. When is that going to be fixed? Yeah, until March 7th.
DDO bonus days.
DDO bonus days. Extra gems for everybody.
Gem
love you so
showers.
much.
Bonus gems.
Well, I called it binders full of gems, and that's the week it's been.
That's not a bug, it's a feature.
I would say so. I've been enjoying it, yeah.
So, that's DDO Gamer for the week.
We're just trying to sell lots and lots of humongous gem bags.
Yeah, well, that's right, yeah. As far as I know, the best, the only way you can get multiple summon type things is if you have the Pale Master. Their skeletons are bonus summons, so they don't fill a summoning slot.
I knew there
it's
was
the only one I know
there.
about.
Yeah.
So I'm Pale Master, and he does that.
Artificers already get a bonus summons. Druids already get a bonus summons.
Well, that's true. But I always think of the pets as a little bit different, But yeah, because they're like a. But I guess they are essentially. They fill that spot.
All right.
So, and they're definitely a little more useful than a lot of the other ones because they can pull levers, which makes them awesome. So that's actually something I'm secretly hoping for with the enhancements. If you do Pale Master, that I can manipulate my skeleton.
Well, and then you have the Onyx Panther, and then if you had bought the Scorpion or the starter pack before they shut it down, you have the Scorpion, which act as Gold Seal hirelings.
Yeah, they're
so
hirelings,
stack.
basically.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So
I'm sure that'll be coming back at some point.
I'm sorry.
The Scorpions,
There's this little technical issue with it, so I'm sure it's coming back.
Oh yeah.
I'll be glad to see it when it does. Okay, let's. Boy, we've got a lot of action on the show already, but we'll quickly do a what you've been doing, but we'll keep it short. I capped one of my characters, so I have a level 25 finally. That took a while for me, and I did the Giant Hold raid and enjoyed it very, very much with the guild. It's definitely fun. It's not real long necessarily, but it can be, I suppose, if your crew is not very well organized. But with some good organization, it's fun. We have not got it down to routine, which is exactly where I like it. We tend to succeed, but a little something always goes wrong somewhere. So I kind of enjoy that. So that's been a lot of fun, and I've been working through some epic destinies, and that's all good. How about you, darling?
Oh, green scales. I got my green armor.
Yeah, your Fredrickson Hollywood.
Hey, here you go. This is what you look like. That's what the overlay is.
Armor with garters.
It's the only armor with garters.
To say
That's the
that.
reason why I got it. It was the only one with garters.
Those are armored garters. Give them a break. Try hitting one sometime.
So and then of course I'm working through Shadow Dancer to get to Shirati Champion. Oh my god, it's so hard on a sorcerer to go through that epic destiny. But
yeah, I can throw some daggers.
I can throw daggers. Okay.
The tan lines on that green dragon scale armor are pretty brutal.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
The garters leave crease marks when I sit down. Oh my god.
I have a dwarven. In fact, the person I use the Stone of Change is a dwarven artificer, and it's a female character. So I went and had to find myself some haughty garter armor from the DDO store. Which let me tell you, on a dwarven woman, oh yeah, that's good action.
Hey, at least she doesn't have a beard. It could be worse.
Oh yeah, it's the one thing she's missing.
Oh, that's what it means. I would so pay for female dwarven beards.
Oh yeah.
She's like, damn, I would totally drop 500 TP for one of those.
Yeah.
Let's see. This week I got a couple of levels on one of my epic characters, but mainly I got pounded to paste by that giant skeleton in the first room of Pop. The first time we tried it at Epic Elite. It was scary. Oh my goodness. 97,000 hit points on that guy.
Oh, yeah.
And he's swinging 400 a hit.
Boom. Oh yeah, I guess I haven't done it on an Epic Elite yet. I did it on the car.
Well, I haven't either. But boy, I've gotten plastered in there on Epic Elite a couple of times.
Wow. Neat. Yeah. How about you, Jerry?
Well, I did hit level 25 on a one of my characters here this week. Otherwise, I've pretty much been going through my current stable of core characters and running all the Giant Hold quests, trying to get them all flagged for the Reaver raid. On live, I have not actually run the new raid yet. I just haven't had time. It was, frankly, a really busy week this week, and so I kind of had some late nights and stuff. But I will be running it real soon.
Cool.
I have run it, just not on the live servers here. And then I also rolled up a Favored Soul Monk, mostly because I don't know, because I'm weird and I like heal bots. I actually enjoy playing sometimes it's like, I kind of want to be lazy tonight. Let me just join a guild run and be the guy that keeps everyone alive. That's fine, And I was thinking, well, who would be a good heal bot? In the past, I went generally cleric with maybe a splash level of fighter for just fighter proficiencies. But then this time around, I went Favored Soul Monk with a half-elf fighter dilettante for the proficiencies, and basically just a monk for evasion and the little bump to armor class, that you'll get with the wisdom bonus. And that was primarily the only reason I splashed monk. I'm sure I could have, min-maxed a few better things out, but just as a basic healer, it works out pretty well that way. So
yeah, no, they're very nice.
Yeah. Otherwise, I have I've created a paladin. I'm just going pure pally. I really loved my old paladin. It was just a pure paladin build. And he's the one that ended up TRing into my Artificer. The Artificer came out. And so now I kind of had a Jones to roll up a Paladin again. And so it's just going to be a dual skimmy wielding Paladin. I've been playing him a little bit. And, yeah, that's about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see, we got community news. There's a fair bit of that, too. DDO Chronicle. Slow DM experiences a quick overview of Epic Giant Hold and a funny screenshot. I haven't looked at that, but... Silver Legion is a Cannith. Oh, and we got the guild thing. We usually don't read those, but Silver Legion is a Cannith-based guild with their own periodical and web guide. The guild aims to be a haven. Oh, website. Okay. Be a haven for mature gamers to have fun. Oh, that's cool.
I thought it was interesting because they, I get a lot of guild requests for the recruitment. And by the way, if that's you, if you want to recruit, send it. Send it in. We will feature you. Well, unless your name is so inappropriate that you probably should have GM intervention.
You haven't had to endorsement on there.
Yeah, but otherwise we will. But it was interesting because the Silver Legion does their own newsletter, their own really weekly or bi-weekly or whatever periodical, and it's a really kind of an interesting way to do it. If you are really into your guilds, you might want to consider doing something like this for your own guild. So I would suggest checking out just to kind of see what they do.
Yeah, that's a really neat idea. Yep. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and if anyone wants to promote their guild on DDOcast, you can do that too. We've done that in the past, but
you got to
that in ages and ages. So, and I don't usually read them on the Chronicle because I don't have much to say about them. But let's see. Chronicle comment: what do DDO's raid bosses do to celebrate their birthdays? It's always hard when I don't prepare the notes because. I'm like, what do I do? My name's always first on the list. Well, I tell you, Vela likes to light the candles on her cake. Only problem is there's usually no cake left over, but she gets an extra special pleasure out of that. Everybody she invites to the party, however, gets a little irritated with it over the years, so they don't get any cake. Jeff, you're next. Improvise something.
I figure they break out their white box version of Houses and Humans and enjoy some serious RPG time. I figure Horos' character, I heard it's a pretty mean 16th level CPA.
How about you?
Me, I'd want something a little more DPS, but whatever.
Yeah. Lawyers. That's what I like.
Lawyers. Oh, me? Oh, okay. I think that they'll have a pool party at Reaver's Refuge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice place for it.
Sure.
The Black Abbot lights a bunch of candles, and by lights it's Inferno, and by candles it's a bunch of players.
There you go.
Yeah. It's a good way to do it. All right, DDO bonus days is going on. 30% guild
No, this
renown.
one's done for today.
Oh, is it?
It's
Okay.
March 3rd.
As of today, it's no longer happening. Yeah, this is March 3rd.
This is Anne again doing her quickie job of copy and paste.
Yeah, that's okay. We're a little pressed for time this week.
Well,
So,
if you are here,
on.
let me just say, if you're hearing this now, you have
that's right.
till let's say mid-morning tomorrow.
Yeah.
Get on it.
Get out there.
Get it.
Log
Your
in,
guild
get on
renown
it.
and challenger awards.
You can sleep when you're dead.
And here it also mentions the Scorpion Creature Companions, which we talked about. So they'll be here till March 7th. What else? Carnor, oh boy, Caranor's Crystal Cove video tips and more. We have a link in the show notes for that. It's also on the DDM forums if you want to look for it. CTH episode, that's Cocktail Hour, episode 62, Naked Bard Party. You were there in person for that party there, Jerry?
Yay,
Yes, I
back.
was. I got to tape the cocktail hour from work. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah, really? That's
Yeah, I
sweet.
was sitting at my desk at work, and
yeah, very
it
good.
was sweet. It was
Oh.
really, really fun. I'm so glad to see him back.
Oh yeah, I'm
That's really
so
good.
glad they're back.
Yeah.
So happy to hear them.
Where else are you going to get a 10-minute in-character rant on why Stormreach doesn't have water treatment plants?
That was really fantastic. Yeah, that was the highlight for me. I have
That
to
was
say.
highlight. Oh, that's
Especially since
tough.
it tortured Samus, but you know.
I actually had to. Not like you. You could definitely tell, but just true. It was improvised. I had no
Oh, yeah.
idea what I was going to say until after I said it. You know?
I thought the pit was the water treatment plant.
Oh, that's true. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sludge treatment, at any rate.
sludge treatment. But I'm so glad they're back because that means we can stop trying to be funny because that's really hard.
Did we try? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
It's always unintentional on this show. If you're laughing at us, not with.
With us, exactly.
Shamgar's notes for Epic Education 26, Lord of Blades. Dog Duty is up. And we're going to have another Epic Education on the show soon. Tolero in the latest community update video had the latest update video. DDO video response. If you would like to win some turbine points, you can record a little video response and post it on there.
So
Yes.
has anyone done it yet?
Well, see, that's what I was just going to say. If you want turbine points, this is a very good way to get them right now because, from what I understand, there's not too many people sending in those video responses. So
So everybody
If,
here, let's do it because we've got video cameras and we're used to doing Hangouts.
That's right. We love
But
you,
I think-
Tolero. You're
I
awesome.
mean, honestly, it's something we'd like to do more because
Jason video
YouTube
posts.
has the ability to do these kind of back and forth conversations.
Mhm.
You know, with the responses, but just something that we really just haven't been able to get off the ground real well. So we're going to bribe people for it this time.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
I'll start.
yeah.
Yeah, we were planning on doing, and then the said napping and laziness broke out. As you'll notice, today I am the epic nap specialist. Man, that was a nice nap. It was lovely. Fan fiction book. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Can I just submit this?
Yeah, well, that's what I was doing. Yeah,
Yeah, we were just doing.
And you
Okay,
just
go
click it
ahead.
out, and
Hey,
then-
all right, here we go. Spotlight. I'll cut it out for you. So go ahead. You're on.
Hi. Hi, Tolero. Happy birthday, DDO. There.
Yay! Well, we can submit our singing. That'll.
We can submit the singing too.
Ooh.
All
Oh, that'll
right.
win for sure.
Yeah. There's a new fan fiction book in the Moonbreaker series. This is Moonbreaker number 3, The Orb of Dragonkind.
Ooh,
Which
I missed that one. Oh,
yeah, we had the author on the show, and I like her stories. I thought they were really good, so definitely worth checking out.
I would have put that in the Chronicle had I known about it.
No, yeah, well,
Oh, you have
so it's
next
next
week?
Chronicle.
You
Yeah,
give me that?
yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
I just noticed that she just started on number 4. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, she kind of writes them a little bit. You can kind of pre-read them before she's finished as well. But
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I think that's all the official news and errata that we have for today. I don't know. Anybody got closing thoughts? I don't know. Let's start with you, Jeff.
We're going to Gen Con.
Yay!
Just thought I'd throw that in.
Right.
Thank you, Jeff.
I almost forgot.
At least 3/4 of us are.
Yeah, I
it's good
don't
to
know. I it's tough because you guys are going this year, so I really want to go, but you know, I've got a baby. I went last year. I've only got so many vacation days. kind of wanted to take an anniversary vacation, which happens to be in August. I don't know if Turbine's sending me, so I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen this year, but I'm pretty sure that somebody, I think, I can't speak for her, but let's just say I think another prominent member of the DDO community team may well be going down to Gen Con this year.
Cool.
So at the very least, someone will be there to have some fun with folks. So.
Very good. Yeah. Well, we'll definitely be there.
Yeah, and if I can, I'd love to, because I haven't met you guys in person, so I'd really like to do that. I met you, Jeff, last year, but
yeah, I don't count though.
We live West Coast. I think we're the only DDOcast members that are West Coast. Oh, and Shamgar, he's in the same city as we are, and it's like we've never really met everybody else.
Yeah.
So.
Of course, we have yet to get together with Shamgar, who lives in the same town.
He comes out during PAX Prime. He does.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We have.
That's it. But
yeah. But outside of that, no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
if I can make it, I would love to go to Gen Con.
You can make it. Great. Yeah. We'll have a party in your favor, and we'll play a D&D game.
Yeah. Or if we we do have other friends that live out there in that area, so.
We can probably take a trip to Boston at some point. I don't know when though.
Yeah, that's the case. It is. When would that happen?
Not
sure.
When would that happen?
But it is possible.
But if you're going, listeners, please let us know, because we're going to try to do something special, like have a D&D game. And if there's more than enough available seats, we'll probably have more than one D&D game. And, of course, we'll have, like, a little party get-together or whatever. So.
We'll do stuff.
We'll do stuff.
Well, it's tricky because I've got some things that one of the main reasons I'm going to Gen Con is for a big card tournament thing. So I've got to figure out when that is and whether or not I qualify for the final rounds or whether I have to go through the grinders. And so there's kind of some scheduling challenges for me to work out. So
I didn't know Cards Against Humanity had a tournament at Gen Con.
That's a pretty clever game.
Yeah,
it was funny. I was watching some people play it in the local gaming tavern here. Yes, we have a gaming tavern in Seattle, which is pretty cool. Well, I was watching some people play it, and I didn't realize what they were playing. And I was sitting to myself thinking, watching them play, and it looked like they were playing Apples to Apples, but it was something else. And I was like, it would be cool if there's kind of a grown-up version of Apples to Apples. And then they're like, oh yeah, they're playing Cards Against Humanity. That's pretty much exactly what that is. I'm like, oh, okay, good idea, I guess.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
I hear that's a lot of fun to play.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Anything else? Darling wife, parting thoughts?
No, I'm pretty good.
Jerry, any last messages from
Let me just sort of do the community spiel.
Yeah, go.
If you are listening to this and you are not a member of our Google Plus community, please consider checking it out. plus.google.com/plus Dungeons and Dragons Online. We'd love to see you on Facebook. That's facebook.com/DDO Unlimited. Twitter.com/DDO Unlimited. We'd love to have you join us there. Check out the wallpapers because I put them together this week and I think they're awesome. And if we can get 1 billion downloads, then I can make more. So
keep Jerry busy.
Yeah.
There's lots of good stuff on your guys' feeds. You get little caption contests, and you can get turbine points occasionally, all kinds of good things. So,
yeah, and I'd really like to. One nice thing about the Google Plus community is that it's an easy way to share screenshots and that sort of thing, and you can just upload them straight to Google Plus, and it has a really nice layout as well. So, I'd love to see more kind of daily interaction on the Google Plus community page, but. It all depends on people showing up and doing it. So
cool. Yeah, well, a lot of people got neat screenshots, so you can share them. I should load some up too. All right. Well, I got nothing additional.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Thanks very much for coming.
It's been forever. I'd give you a virtual hug.
Good times.
Another golf clap for Jerry.
Yay!
Well, actually, I just golf clap for you guys too. I've actually been really liking DDO Gamer a lot too. I check that out all the time. So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
So
thank you very much.
A fantastic alliance all around, I think. Cool. Okay, well, thanks everybody for coming on the show, and thanks to everybody in the chat room for helping us out as always, and thanks to all the DDOcast contributors. We do get emails and things still, and we got Epic Education, and our many fine listeners, and Turbine, and Wizards of the Coast. So if you want to be a part of the show, you can call us at 707-DDOcast or email us at ddocast@gmail.com. So until next time, may all your attack rolls be crits, all your chess level appropriate, have fun, and don't forget to ask Jerry to finish the sentence.
Gather for buffs.
Gather for buffs, because he's old school, baby.
And this is
Thanks,
where we
everybody.
sing out. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Oh, this is the music. Okay.
Do, do, do.
Come on!
Oh, dear.